Welcome back, NFL and Madden fans. It's the Anti Madden with another divisional matchup segment. In this segment, I break down the action from a divisional game that was played from the NFL week that just wrapped up. And this week, we're going to take a look at the Dolphins and the Patriots. I just want to set the stage coming into this game. You know, the Dolphins, they bounced back from a terrible start. 1-3. They went over to London, got smashed. Philbin got fired. They get Dan Campbell in there. And then they come back, and then they beat the Titans, and they beat the Texans in back-to-back weeks. And they looked pretty dominating against the Texans. I mean, smashing them. Even Pro Football Focus gave Lamar Miller the second highest grade for running backs with a 3.8. I mean, the dude had 175 yards on the ground, 61 receiving yards, and 2 TDs. And Tannehill had 4 touchdowns. And every time he had a touchdown, he was being blitzed. And Cameron Wake finally got some sacks going, had 2 sacks, and he was the second highest graded in Pro Football Focus amongst 4-3 defensive ends. But, I mean, let's be honest. They played the Titans and the Texans. That's the worst division in football. I mean, it is trash. Texans got their issues and Titans got their issues. So let's not get overly hyped on the Dolphins' resurgence. And then the Patriots. Ugh, these dudes, man. These dudes haven't lost a meaningful game at home in 3 years. I mean, you think they're going to let the Dolphins come in here and smash them? No, I really don't think that's going to happen. And New England was favored to win by 7.5 points. Probably should have been more, seeing the outcome. I think really it would have been tough for the Dolphins to come in here. The Patriots were number 1 in the league in offense, averaging 35 points a game. And you saw that one of the main struggles from the Dolphins was that their defense wasn't really doing that much. And right now, Brady is playing as well as at any point in his career. I mean, his numbers are comparable to 2007 season when he had Moss. You know what I'm saying? So the Patriots are balling, Brady's balling. It's going to be tough for them, So the way the game started off, the Patriots came down, methodical drive, with the same, as I've been saying in previous posts, the same methodical Patriots offense. Short outs, slants, quick hitches. I mean, they snap the ball, and the ball is out so quickly. And in this game, they went to a lot of quick passes, screens. They went bubble screens, HB screens, and they drove the ball up the field, and they softened Miami up with a little bit of runs from LeGarrette Blount, Deion Lewis on the screens, and basically came out with 10-21 in the first, and they came out in 12 personnel, and then ran a play action and hit Gronkowski right up the middle. And the Dolphins happened to be in cover 2 sink, and basically the free safety, if you go back and look at the play, the free safety just took a terrible angle. And then Gronkowski, who's got decent wheels for a big-ass tight end, goes 47 yards for a touchdown. So, I mean, they came about firing on all cylinders. Dolphins get the ball. They fail on the drive. Nothing happens. And then pretty much the Dolphins defense this does a pretty good job of containing the Patriots for the rest of that first quarter. And then when the problems start to show up is in the second quarter, when the Dolphins are backed up just shy of their 10-yard line, and this is where the nightmare begins for Miami. I mean, the first pass, Tannehill gets his pass batted down. Then they try a wide receiver screen to Jarvis Landry. That doesn't get anything. And then they pull a Peyton Manning-esque and Broncos-esque overthrowing the snap in the Super Bowl like they did with the Seahawks. The Miami Dolphins do it, and Tannehill ends up having to jump on it and drop and gets a safety in the end zone. So basically the Patriots take a 9-0 lead. The Dolphins, starting pretty terribly. I got to say, let's give some credit to the defense of the Dolphins. They did a decent job, I think, in the first half in basically containing the Patriots. I mean, they did score in the first drive, but overall, the Patriots had a lot of drives where they punted the ball. So a real bad play came with 5:17 left to go in the half. And Tannehill ends up throwing what looked like a post corner route to, I think, Kenny Stills. And Stills just doesn't, break on his route. I mean, it was terrible. And the New England defender just jumps in front of it and picks it. So I wouldn't really put that pick on Tannehill, but you still threw it. And it wasn't a good play at that particular time, because then the Patriots come back down, and Brady throws a nasty back shoulder throw to LaFell with 39 seconds to go, because they're trying to, just before the half, they're trying to score. And then Brady hits Deion Lewis with the angle route to score a TD just before the end of the half. So they go up 19-0 right before halftime. And from that point on, it's looking really bad. It's just looking bad for the Dolphins. They need to go in the locker room and talk about things, because I don't know what's going on with their offense, but it's not good. It's just not good. So the Dolphins come out. They obviously got some things together. They came out licking their wounds, and they score a TD to start the third. So right now, at this point, we got the Patriots up 22-7 with 14:31 in the game, and Tannehill throws another pick, second of the game. Now, this was a brilliant play call. If you go back and look at the play, it was a brilliant play call from New England and the defensive coordinator, because what they ran was if you want to use a Madden play, they ran the nickel 2-4-5, 2 QB contain, where they were basically in a cover 2, and one of the D linemen drops back underneath. Tannehill obviously wasn't prepared for it, because they actually came out in a cover 3 look. And one of the reasons it worked is because for the whole game, pretty much, New England was running mostly cover 3 press look. And out of it, they would run cover 3 press, or they would run a cover 1 press. So you can't really tell as an offense. As a quarterback, it looks the same every time, but sometimes it's zone, sometimes it's man, and they didn't really do too well when it was cover man. You got to give some credit to the New England cornerbacks, because they were pretty much staying with Miami on all these routes. But on that particular play, they came out in what looked like cover 3, and then if you look at it, the last second, the defense shifts into a two high safety look, and it ends up being 2 QB contained. Tannehill's trying to hit the post corner and just gets his route jumped. So it was a nice call from New England. So from that point on, it was pretty much in the bag for the Patriots. They come down and score, and then they score again, and it's 36-7, and that was all she wrote. That was all she wrote. Dolphins had no offense. Patriots murdering. The defense played pretty well, and that was all she wrote. But I want to talk a little bit about, I already spoke about what New England was doing defensively. I think it's something that you can actually use when you play Madden. Take New England. I'm going to do a post. I'm going to do a video on this coming up real quick on New England's scheme, because they basically showed you single high for most of the game. So they ran that single high safety press with the corners pressed, and it's basically going to be cover 3 or cover 1. Cover 3, cover 1. Whether it's cover 1 hole, or whether you want to blitz a linebacker and do cover 1 LB blitz. That's kind of the look what they went with. But then every time on third down, they would throw something weird on you. Like one time they threw a corner blitz 3 look, so it looks like the corner's blitzing off, and then right before the snap, they would go into a cover 3 buzz. So I got to thinking it might be a nice way to mix up your looks on defense when you're playing people on Madden. Then on another third down, they went to a 3 double buzz look out of the quarters, where the 2 safeties, they dropped down. It was nice defense, and they had everybody manned up. And then they went on a long 3rd and 28. They went cover 4 drops. They had some nice plays where they mixed it up, and basically Tannehill wasn't able to figure it out. The Dolphins' offense, I don't know. I think their offense is fundamentally flawed. I think they just, from my perspective, they try to run the ball from 11 personnel too much. Either it's a gun where it's a HB mid-draw, or they run from single back. They'll run a pump and draw. Stop running that. You want to run the ball. You guys are not the Ravens. And I know the Ravens are not playing well this year, but the Ravens are the only team that I've seen that can consistently run the ball out of single back. Why? Because they have blockers. They have dudes that can open up lanes. Justin Forsett you may not think he's one of the tightest running backs in the league, But man, does he break a lot of 9-yard, 10-yard runs by hitting holes correctly. And pretty much it's because Marshall Yanda and Kelechi Osemele be busting open holes for you. Dolphins line, when they run the 11 personnel, you don't really see big gaps. And overall, nobody's going to go for that over and over. You keep trying to run draws, inside zones. You see the struggles that the Philadelphia Eagles are having running the ball. Number one, because they're not running the ball, but also number two is because 11 personnel, just handing the ball inside zone, there's always somebody unblocked. It's unblocked.